to the polls. That's tomorrow. The results of all of this will culminate in the voting, and then at the end of the day, you'll hear what it would be, what the result will be. Now, whether we like it or not, it's also showing the competition that rests between political heavyweights, between political parties, and more often than not, the people are forgotten. We can say here, Senator, we can pontificate and say, yes, the people must take control. But we also know that another political tool is keeping people poor, is keeping people uninformed, is keeping people uneducated, and then you can control them that way. So then I think it's a bit disingenuous of us to say then, well, the people then must hold their leaders accountable. How? This is the same leader who's coming to give you 2,000 shillings to eat on the day, essentially controls your stomach, is going to control your mind. How do we divorce ourselves from that? Because the leader that people are given, who they might vote for tomorrow, based on whatever the case may be, is who they're going to stay with for the next 1 year. How do we get away from this whole thing whereby we say that the people are responsible for who they bring into power, but whatever you're putting on the buffet has been already ordered in the kitchen?
The first thing that comes to my mind when you ask me that question is exactly what is the role of, for example, EACC. Because we should be able to question. I think one of the things that prove that somebody has engaged in corruption is, when you carry out a lifestyle audit on them. I mean, we should have, institutions that are empowered, that EACC will come in and ask, even the president himself, when he donates 2-3 million in a particular event, another one the same week, so that at the end of the week you will find that things that are reported anyway, that he has contributed about 10 million Kenya shillings, that we should be able to come out, the EACC, for example, should be able to come out and question that kind of donations, and ask the president, put him to task. How many chicken have you been able to sell this week? Because he claims, he says that he's a poultry farmer. I mean, where do you get this kind of money? Where is this kind of money being spent in all Kalau coming from? EACC should be empowered to be able to, ask such questions.
What kind of power does the EACC need? This is their mandate. I mean, they already have the power. Or are we saying that what they don't have is the goodwill to actually say, look here, these are your people. It's the same EACC, by the way, who told us during the Better North member of by-election last year that they had not received any information that one of the candidates perhaps had a corruption scandal to his name. Same EACC that we're now saying that they should pick up their mandate and their role. What more? Let me breathe.
Breathe.
What more do you need to do your job?
I think the problem we have, even with a very progressive constitution that was promulgated in 2010, is that we put the president in basically everything. That the president has a say as to who is elected or who is nominated to be chair of IBC, EACC, Chief Justice, although you have the JSC. What we need to do if we want to have a serious country where the president does not interfere with other matters is to make, independent institutions truly independent and not just in paper. Because look at what happened to Cherera 4, for example. After President Ruto took over, he influenced, even, the investigation into these particular commissioners. That if we can be able to maybe, I don't know what can be done, because we even can carry out a referendum and change the structure of our governance. So that this thing that we have been told since we are in primary school, that we have 3 arms of government, that we have legislature, we have judiciary and executive, which are supposed to be independent of one another, that they really become independent. Why would the president, for example, be having the power, to appoint judges of the Court of Appeal? I mean, Supreme Court judges. I mean, why should the president have any say whatsoever regarding who is nominated to be a commissioner at EACC, other commissions including IEBC, so that is the time we will be able to have an independent and a reasonable country. If you ask me, I can actually tell you that the other thing that we have a problem with, and this is something that I've said elsewhere, but I think is not precedented anywhere in the world. But in Kenya, we also could need what I can call a partyless state, so that then the legislature is not captured. Because what happens now, there is something called the party position with every party. So that even after elections, people campaign as Azimio, a grouping of parties as Azimio, but even before elected members are sworn in, then you find that some parties have already, the party leaders have already talked to the elected president, and they have a coalition. And the members have they have nothing else they can do other than follow the party position. So that we will never, in my view, ever have an elected member representing his people, purely the people who elected him, because there is always that party position. But if we don't have any parties, any party, in my view, it's quite rather radical. But if we have a situation where you present yourself to the electorate without any party, where there is no requirement to belong to any party, you will be able to represent your people in a very exactly your people, because you have no reference to anybody or anything else. It is what your people tell you to say that you will say. You will not look back to see what your party is saying. I think we need fundamental changes even in our constitution.
In our political chess games,